I'm Roden. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading for June 20th to June 26th. I have a kitty cat here, and he's already knocking stuff over. No, you can't stay if you're going to destroy things. I actually have card holders for all my cards, and he's already destroyed them by hanging out on here and just literally he sits down and lays down, and then he starts to spread out until everything's off the table. Anyway, hi guys. Please make sure that you hit the notification bell and that it's set to your settings that you prefer to have. Sometimes when you first hit it, it doesn't do all your notifications, so just check that. And also thank you to people who are subscribed and commenting and also liking the videos. It does help my videos circulate, and if you want to be subscribed and you're not, don't forget to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, so beyond that, let's go ahead and dive in. So I talk about the astrology portion first, and if you're not into the astrology portion, that's fine. Just jump ahead to when I'm channeling and pulling cards. Yeah, so you can do that. All right, so this week we are starting Cancer season. Happy birthday, Cancers, and happy birthday, Geminis, who are watching this. By the time you watch this on YouTube, I probably will have already gone live to do a Gemini birthday video, and I will probably post about it before I go live. I'll try to remember to. I don't really function that way, but I'm gonna try to remember to. So yeah, happy birthday, Cancers and Geminis. This week we also have Venus moving into Gemini from Taurus. This Venus-Taurus vibe, there's been so much focus on goals. There's been so much focus on financial stability and security, like where are we going to live? How are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to get water? And of course, in relation to everything that's going on in the economy. And now with Venus moving into Gemini, it's putting us into more of our heads, which I'll be honest. I was like, oh, we've been in our heads a lot. Collectively, we've been in our heads a lot, and personally, I would really like to not be so much in my head. Also, I'm a little biased because Gemini touches my 12th house, encompasses my 12th house. I'm kind of a cusper with my rising sign because I'm like Cancer to 1 degree rising. So I have a little bit of that Gemini influence in my first house, especially in Vedic. But anyway, so Gemini's been a lot for me. This year, Gemini's been a lot for me. But those are the two transits that are happening this week. Guys, the cool thing about this week, though, this week is going to feel very sexy. This week is going to feel very sensual and passionate, very Venusian, very, very Venusian, and also very fiery, but we still got a touch of Pisces kind of going on there. So it's like we're really in our emotional part of ourselves, but we still have the fire of Jupiter, Aries, and we still have that component of Venus. Like I said, Venus is doing a lot this week. So I'm going to go over everything, but just know that this week it's about feeling yourself. I'm sure you guys know that song. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. That might be the theme song for this week. I also suspect that there's going to be some relationships and affairs started this week. I almost never say that, but with all the aspects that we have going on this week, it really is looking like that could be the case. So enjoy yourself, feel yourself, and have some fun. And also make some magic, because we do have some aspects this week that are also helping us with achieving our goals and having stop being so cute. Progression with work. We do have a couple little difficult stuff, but it's not bad. Overall, this is gonna be a week of fun. This is gonna be a week to let yourself really be seen and find a lot of confidence in that. But just make sure you are watching your moderation, because we are talking about Venus. And with excess Venus, you get excess, and then especially with Jupiter influencing it as well, it just kind of expands that. So while you're having your fun and pleasure and joy and love and sex or whatever else joy that you're having, make sure that you are watching how much you're indulging. Make sure you're not developing dependencies or going back to old dependencies for your own sense of emotional security, or for just feeling so intoxicated and just kind of riding the high, right? And also with money, there's actually going to be some good energy towards the end of the week for financial investments that can really pay off, because we have Jupiter working with Venus. But in the beginning of the week, we might feel like finances are a little bit more restricted, but we're going to want to spend. So walk that fine line, okay? All right, so let's get into some of the aspects. So all week we actually have strong asteroid influence. which I was kind of surprised by. Like, we don't really have any planetary aspects that are holding for the entire week. It's more like we got some cool stuff in the beginning, we got some cool stuff at the end, but all week we have some strong asteroid play going on. So definitely the first thing I want to talk about is a couple asteroids that are working with Uranus. Uranus is at Taurus 17 degrees and is working with Juno and Ceres. Juno is in Pisces, Ceres is in Cancer. Now that Juno-Uranus aspect, we've actually already been experiencing that and feeling that, but Juno's moving slow. Uranus, as you know, is slow because it's a generational planet. So it's still with us and will still be with us moving into the new moon Cancer. Okay, so note that you'll feel this under the new moon Cancer. This aspect is about breaking and forging bonded relationships. So already we're talking about relationships and really moving away from anything that also limits our own personal freedom. That's a big part of just Uranus in its own nature, but especially as it's working with Juno, because Juno likes, like Juno and Pisces either likes to be really alone in our own solitude, or it's kind of like extremes, or like glued or glued to an individual that we have a very, very, very deep spiritual connection with. So it has like kind of extreme energy to it, and if neither are kind of holding within that, it can lead to kind of discomfort. Juno and Pisces, you can also look at this natally too if you want to, if it's in your natal chart, but Juno and Pisces also sometimes has this kind of vibe where nothing's ever good enough within a relationship or when dealing with people. And Juno does relate to relationships because it's about marriage. It's about bonded relationships. That's how I look at marriage personally. It's a bond. It's a bonded relationship, just like business relationships. I look at it as very much a seventh house kind of asteroid. But anyway, so getting carried away in explanation, but Uranus sextile Juno. This week, it's about breaking and forging bonded relationships. And bonded means there is a contract, there is something very much in the physical realm that is dependent upon the relationship. So whether it's we're bonded because we have children, or we're bonded because of inheritance, or we're bonded because we share a business together. There's something very, very physical about it that is not fleeting. Not flimsy. Okay, so look at it that way. Excuse me, Uranus. I've been doing this for like a couple weeks now, just like that. Anyway, Uranus sextile Ceres. This is really nice because Ceres in Cancer is like, it likes being in Cancer. It's already very Cancerian in its own nature because it's about nurturing, literally. It's about nurturing, it's about self-care, it's also about cycles. It's very, very much that maternal feminine kind of vibe. But this is gonna help us to find new ways of taking care of ourselves, other people, our homes, and our families. So it's a really nice energy for focusing on ourselves. And kind of putting ourselves in a better emotional state and just better standing, and just as far as our own well-being is concerned, while we do have a lot of this relationship energy this week, okay? Especially coupled with all the Venus activity we have. This is also a great time to decorate the home and the vessel. If you want to get on that, by all means, if you're feeling yourself, by all means, go for it, have some fun, don't spend too much money, be mindful, don't indulge. Moving on. So the other thing we got going on this week, Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is actually square another asteroid, Pallas Athena, but it's also square Venus in the beginning of the week. And Neptune is sextile Pallas Athena and is also sextile Venus in the beginning of the week. What I thought was interesting about this is that under the full moon, Sagittarius, the full moon was actually trine Saturn and square Neptune. And so now the energies have kind of switched. And I think I noted that in the last weekly message. I at least noted it, I think, in the full moon live that I did on Patreon, which is also now on Vimeo. Oh shit, or is it? No, it is. I was like, did I do that? No, I did that. Moving on. So now the energies are a little switched, right? So Saturn is actually creating, this is where we have a little bit of a snafu this week. Saturn is putting pressure on us that's actually making us a little sad. Might make us feel kind of sad, a little lonely, a little depressed, and that kind of pressure that I'm talking about is the pressure of responsibility. It's the pressure of having to answer to deadlines and duties and authority figures and bosses, the have-tos. Now the have-tos, we do have to do them, but I don't think this is going to be like overwhelming considering all of the positive, very like emotional, sensual, feel good energy we have, but it's present. It's definitely present. But Neptune, as it's working with Pallas Athena and Venus, relying on that part of ourselves that's creative and imaginative, the part of ourselves that we are feeling ourselves, is going to help us feel more optimistic about achieving our goals, because Pallas Athena is at play, and our own financial stability and independence and financial freedom. But also when it comes to relationships, it's going to add more of that optimism when it comes to emotionally relating to people, that we're not going to feel so lonely, and that, oh, people are really seeing us, oh, people are feeling us just the way I'm feeling myself. It's like there's going to be a lot of vibing going on this week between people and between you and yourself as well. So not too worried about it overall. Now, kind of getting into more about Venus. Okay. Venus is in Taurus at the beginning of the week, but shifts into Gemini during this week, as I had said before. Venus is bringing in the intensity. It's bringing in the love. It's bringing the sex, and it's bringing in the magic. So again, strap yourself in. Some of y'all might be meeting a lot of people this week. They might feel very karmic. They might feel very spiritual. You might feel like you're meeting the one this week. Some of you guys might just feel like you're meeting your tribe this week. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of meeting people, or at least deepening relationships with people, especially if they're relatively new in your physical reality. Venus is, like I said, sextile Neptune. We talked about that. That's a very dreamy energy. That's a very dreamy, sensual, compassionate, open, emotionally vibing aspect between people. But Venus is also trine Pluto. Yeah. That Venus-Pluto combination, this is bringing the intensity. This is the deep, deep feelings of passion and love between people. If you meet someone and there's art and there's like an innate spiritual deep connection, you're going to feel it like in overdrive when you first meet them. And keep in mind, like, any of these relationships can be long-term. But with Pluto, it tends to have a karmic feel, and also because it brings in so much intensity, that intensity and passion tends to wear off, like, relatively fast. So be mindful of what you might be signing up for. But like I also said, Venus is also square Saturn, where again, that's that feeling of restriction and work and responsibilities, kind of like putting our fires out. It's making us feel meh and lonely and sad, and just like life is kind of lackluster. But again, I don't expect it to be the overall like theme of the week. I expect love, sex, and magic overall for this week. Okay. As the week continues and we move towards the end of the week, Venus is still at play. Venus, now being in Gemini towards the end of the week, is working with Jupiter in Aries. As if Venus wasn't doing enough already, Venus is now expanded by Jupiter and made bigger and louder and that much more intense. And of course with Aries, that's a very sexual energy too. That's also very fiery. So again, it's just kind of amping up the love, sex, magic component of that. And with a sextile, it's going to bring in more opportunities. It's going to open doors. I also suspect, because Venus is in Gemini, it's going to really inspire you. You might even want to share a lot with people about just everything. You might feel very flirty. Gemini is a very, very flirty energy, but keep that balance, okay? Keep that balance of having something stay sacred. Vesta's in Pisces right now, and I know it's creating a couple aspects. I actually didn't write them down, which I'm kind of surprised I didn't. But Vesta being in Pisces, I feel like Venus is actually going to be square Vesta this week too. So while you're feeling yourself and you're feeling people, it's still important to have a sense of, I can have my sacred time. I can have my sacred alone time, especially when it comes to your own creative endeavors. If any of you guys are working on projects right now, so important to stay on top of that, especially because Saturn is still in the mix too. So balance is everything in moderation, right? Also finances, again, towards the end of the week, because Venus is in this more positive energy towards the end of the week. Financial investments are highly positive. And again, just don't overspend. Just be mindful. The sun towards the end of the week is also going to be square Jupiter. Now, this could easily be seen as negative, but Jupiter working with the sun, that's a really beautiful expanded energy of the soul, of your own chi, of your solar plexus, of your aura. So it actually brings confidence. It brings confidence. It brings determination. But it can go to your head with it being square in Jupiter. So again, watch moderation. Be modest, have humility, have respect, even if you're feeling yourself like to the max, okay? Pallas Athena is also going to be trine Pluto. This is leaning towards success. This is leaning towards financial success, long-term success, especially for anything that you've been thinking of or prioritizing in the last like month and a half or so when it comes to your own money and financial freedom. This is going to give a nice little boost there, okay? And that is also going to be supported by Mars in Aries, sextile Saturn. Mars in Aries, sextile Saturn in Aquarius. That's going to be with us through the following week under New Moon in Cancer as well. So keep that in mind. But that's a really, really good aspect to get shit done. Get shit done, get shit planned out, and head on towards success and be motivated and fiery. So I know I gave you a lot of information. I threw a lot at you. Wait, where are my notes? Oh. Like I had more notes. Where'd they go? The only thing I would really look at this week, I'd really look at Venus. I would really look to see where Venus is transiting your personal houses. So it goes from Taurus 27 degrees at the beginning of the week to like Gemini 4 degrees by the end. So just see where that range is in your personal house, in your personal houses. For me, that's between my 11th house and my 12th house. Anyway. A lot to say about that. But wherever you have Venus, that's where you're going to be feeling like you're vibing. Like you're vibing with you, you're vibing with people, you're feeling sexy, you're feeling magical. I do think this is going to be also a great time to actually create magic and like pull things in and manifest because we are in such like a high vibe sort of energy here. I'd also watch Saturn. I would keep your eyes on Saturn. Saturn's going to be at 25 degrees. It'll move into 24 degrees Aquarius by the end of the week. But Saturn is going to be where we have a little bit of that sense of restriction. So just keep your eye on it. Don't get too attached to it. It's like it might give you the blues. It might make you feel a little bluesy. Okay? For me, for anybody who's Cancer rising or Cancer 1 degree rising, that is... Oh, actually, that might be my ninth. No, it's my 8th house. No, it's my 9th house. It's my 9th house. It's my 9th house, which is interesting because that's like higher education. But I actually feel like because we are in a full moon Sag, higher education, seeking that out and travel and all of that, all those Saggy vibes are really positive. So that's interesting. So for any of you who are like me, who will have Saturn going through their 9th house, you might really yearn for those things. You might really yearn for traveling. You might really yearn for seeking out higher education. And I definitely suggest you do if you're really feeling it. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. You might overcommit yourself. That's just what this is coming in as a channeling. You might overcommit yourself. And then you might feel like you can't actually maintain it or rise to the occasion. And then you're going to feel a little bit more sad. There's a lot of joy to be found in communing with other people right now. There's a lot of joy to be found in doing things that make you feel good about yourself right now this week. There's a lot of joy to be found in anything that makes you feel sexy as hell this week, okay? So move into that very like sexual, feminine sort of place, all right? Wow. Anything else? Like, is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I would really just watch Venus and Saturn is what I would keep my eyes on. Venus and Saturn. Venus and Saturn. Venus and Saturn. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's pull some cards. 1919. I looked up at the camera. Clyde, you're taking up a lot of space. This cat. I'm sorry, Clyde. I have to move you. I know you're so cute and adorable, and I know you just want to be with me. But you. Sorry. Thanks, buddy. I know you were so cozy. All right. Where are we going first? Actually, No, let's do animals. We're gonna do animals. Using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. All the decks I use are linked below if you are wanting to check them out or you want to get them for yourselves. There's also a Patreon and Vimeo page. You can check that out on the website. We had a lot of fun on Patreon actually the last week. The Full Moon Sag live was a lot of fun. And we also went live and we do like talks every once in a while. So the last talk we did just yesterday, from the day that I'm recording, we talked everything yoni. So we talked about like womb oil, yoni steams, how to deal with, you know, certain stuff that comes up when you have a yoni. It was nice. I think it was really supportive for a lot of us. Anyway, moving on. Any messages or insights for the collective for this week? Dancing. I'm hearing dancing. Dancing. Some of you guys I think are really already feeling yourselves. Like I think you might really feel the energy before it's actually here, which I think is an indication of how intense it's gonna be. Hey, we could all use some of that, right? Yeah, this week there's fun. There's fun this week. Dancing. Some of you might want to look into looking at dancing as like a good form of exercise and just stress release. You might find that it's very liberating for some of you. Some of you who've been wanting to do that will suddenly have more confidence and comfort in actually pursuing it. So very cool. Any messages or insights for this week? Let's see. Ooh. Fire ant and the whale. Fire ant usually speaks of like anger that's building, but I just feel tension. I feel tension that's building, It's funny that whale's coming out here too, because whale to me is a big soul divine energy. To me, the whale really speaks of the subconscious. It really speaks of everything beyond the veils, the great mystery, right? That's kind of what I think of when I see whale here. What is this tension? Some of you guys just really need to have fun. Some of you really need a release. Some of you really seriously need a release. So again, I don't normally say this. Some of you just need to have a sexual release. I'm just being totally frank here. I feel like this is literally representing the soul. Like the soul is needing to release some excess energy. It's needing to release passion. Again, fire ant speaks of anger sometimes, or just like a building of tension from being uncomfortable, from not releasing, or from not being honest and not like living in flow. It's like the soul is even saying like, it's time for a release, please. I need fun. I need sexy time. I need to dance. I need to create. I need to laugh. It's like we really almost need to be in like complete solar sacral heart energy. Yeah, like orange, yellow, like just just be set ablaze. Like our souls need that this week, apparently. Let's keep going. Oh, release. The Scorpion card literally speaks of holding on to shit. That's literally what the Scorpion card represents. And you see how it's like really fiery there at the tail. It looks like he literally has a fireball at the end of his tail. Buffalo to me is a really positive omen. Buffalo to me is very auspicious. Like there's great things to come. But I do feel, like, how do I describe this? It's like, it makes me want to wince a little bit. And it's like giving me a headache. I feel a bumpy road. It doesn't have to be bumpy though, because whatever energy, tension you guys are holding on to right now that needs to be released from the Scorpio and the fire ants, it's almost making what's ahead for you more challenging when it's almost something to be enjoyed. Buffalo is positive. That's like, hey, rewards are around the corner. A life that is better for you and other people is right around the corner. The whale, it's your soul, it's your higher self, it's your subconscious, it's all things. It's the great mystery of everything that has ever existed, right? It's a big energy. That's so positive. That's like so amazing and like so beautiful. But Scorpion and Fire Ant, both of them are screaming at us like, oh, sorry, my context just freaked out. Both of us are screaming tension. Look, they're both like have little fireballs in the middle of them. They're both screaming tension. They're both screaming building up of something because you're holding on to shit. Time for a release. Time for a release. Time for a release. Definitely dance, work out. If you can't have sexy time with another person, have sexy time by yourself. I'm just saying. Get outside, create, like really be in that sacral, feminine, Piscean part of you this week. It's really, really, really going to pay off. Okay? An enjoyable experience. Anything enjoyable can be made into a struggle or made to be uncomfortable or hard just because we're not in the right place or we're got too much going on. Release, release, release. Okay. Moving on. Any other messages or insights this upcoming week? Anything else for the collective? I'm literally getting a headache. Some of you guys are way too caught up in like in the adulting part of life, like in the I gotta do this and a deadline this and I gotta do this tomorrow and wait shit I forgot to do this and like look, like there's almost too much of that going on. Don't mind me. That you're not living. That you're not living. Like you're alive, you're doing life, but you're not living. Some of you might be very triggered when oh tiger. Some of you guys might be very triggered for those of you where you are meeting people that can be potential long-term relationships, romantic or otherwise, but there's a big romantic energy this week. And it can be beautiful or it can be hard. Just release. Just release. Just release and let go. Overall with Tiger, ooh, yeah. Vulture, oh, Otter, God, more release and cleansing. I'll explain all these guys, don't worry. And then we've got the Frog. First of all, let's talk about Tiger. Tiger is exactly the energy we're talking about this week. That this is feminine love, sex, magic. If I had to ascribe just a few words to Tiger energy, especially in this deck, feminine love, sex, magic. Right there. Tiger is spiritual awareness. It can even indicate spiritual awakening because it's like a white tiger, right? But it speaks of feminine energy specifically. It speaks of the fiery, built up sacral energy that's been untapped, that hasn't been allowed to be or express, and it finally comes to light because it's been sitting in the dark so long. Like that is Tiger energy. It's raw. It's raw. That's what it is. It's exactly the energy we have going on this week. And look what comes right next to it. Vulture, death magic. Essentially, that's what Vulture is. Vulture is death magic. It's almost like the amount of releasing that we need to do, not the amount of releasing, the releasing that we need to do, there's something very dark about it. There's something that's a little dense about it. And for some of you, it is emotional, especially with Otter being there. Release it, man. Like, you need to release it through fun. You need to release it through fun to let this love, sex, magic vibe that you got come out to play. But that's why Vulture is here. There actually is a transmutation that's happening with this level of releasing that's happening. So you can actually go forward and embrace the really good things that are up ahead for you. Underneath Vulture, we have Otter and Frog. Straight up emotional cleansing. Emotional purification. That's all Frog is about, but especially with Otter being there, Otter's unconditional love. It's like, oh, I actually would ascribe this to higher heart chakra. If I had to ascribe it to energy, higher heart chakra, not just the heart chakra, higher heart chakra. This is an energy of I am open, I am receptive, I am full of love, and play and joy and life, and I just want to share and be in that with other people. Cleansing all of that. I also want to point out, underneath the frog we have fox. It's very Gemini energy, but fox in this deck speaks of partners, speaks of witty partners. And there's such a big partner energy going on this week. Again, not all of you all are going to have partners, but some of you guys are going to be really hella triggered for those of you who are. So I'm just want to point that out, that the fox has made its appearance here. No matter the tension you feel, no matter the trigger you feel, let it happen. Just let it happen. Let whatever has been sitting there or untapped, let it come to the surface, because you could have so much fun and joy and play and just magic going on in your life, or especially for those meeting people, like within these relationships. I mean, look what's ahead of you. Look at that. Look what's ahead of you, and look what is building and begging for release. Yes. Some of you might be really uncomfortable being seen in this kind of way, like just so exposed. But I think if you like allow yourself, just give yourself permission to follow the process, you might be very pleasantly surprised. It's actually reminding me, I watched, I forgot what she called it, J-Lo's thing on Netflix. I forget how long ago I watched it. Time is so weird, but it kind of reminds me of that kind of energy, of being so strong in your own sexual energy that you can create anything. You can do it all. You can do the acting, singing, whatever. You can do it all. You can expose yourself in all different kinds of ways and really just be seen for the beautiful soul that you are, right? There, like that documentary movie, whatever you want to call it, that she made and put on Netflix, it really had that kind of vibe to it, of that level of exposing oneself, exposing like one's love, sex, magic, part of themselves, and it was very sacral, and that's kind of what I'm feeling here. So I probably watched that for a reason. It's probably giving me an indication of what's coming up collectively. Yeah, don't let Saturn be too hard on you guys this week, okay? Again, Aquarius, 25, 24 degrees, your personal houses, wherever that's sitting for you. Don't let that be your whole life this week. Let yourself have fun. Let Venus show you the path. Rely on Venus this week, okay? Let's move on. Pull some other cards. We'll go with Runic Tarot. Well, lie. Kind of want to do my sexual magic tarot. But, you know, some people find it to be a little inappropriate, so I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Any messages or insights for this upcoming week? Any messages or insights for this upcoming week? It's interesting too. Sorry, they're stopping me. They brought up Sag again. The full moon Sag. Sag is Jupiter ruled, right? And Jupiter is associated with you know, Zeus like energy, that like energy of God, heaven, thunder, expansion, power, that kind of energy. And so that energy has been getting so much support from Venus till present time. And then when we shift into the following week, like we're talking about, this video is for the 20th to 26th, right? So talking about the 27th to July 3rd or something like that. Mars is going to be significant, especially as we are having the new moon in Cancer. The moon, feminine, mother, goddess, high priestess. Mars is going to play a significant role there, and Jupiter is actually going to be creating an aspect under the new moon Cancer. So it's like, just in the I'm just, you know, fascinated by the juxtaposition of this expansive masculine with feminine magic support energy system. Like, it's just very interesting. I don't really have much else to say about it. I'm just noticing the dance and the switching that we've been experiencing ever since the full moon Sag. Moving on. Probably felt the need to say that because it's probably going to come up here. It's probably going to come up. Oh, thank you. They just said some of you guys are also noticing the dance within yourselves. The dance of your own masculine, feminine, which again, they're just labels, right? You are a one being. You are a united self of many different energies that can be looked at in different ways, but you are one being that is existing in all these energies all the time. But the dance of reception and giving and doing, right? Like the dance of being an active force versus being a passive force. Like there is a dance to it when we aren't talking about alchemy and being a magician and practicing magic and pulling shit into our reality and co-creating, right? It's about the dance. It's about the dance of being active, passive, doing, receiving. It's a dance. Oh. Any messages or insights? Any messages or insights for this week for the collective? I'd be shocked if we didn't get Queen of Wands out here. Let's see. The moon. Wow. The moon. Which is funny because the moon, you can even look at the moon as a dance of truth and illusion. Right? You can kind of see that. Actually, the two wolves are represented here by, I forget the gods that are in this illustration of depiction, is what I should say. Depiction of the moon. They're actually two Norse gods. I forget which ones. I'm tempted to look them up, but then I'd have to pull the book out from under my stack, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, the dance. The dance of emotions and the dance of thoughts. The dance of emotions and truth is actually what they're bringing up here with the moon. The dance of emotions and the dance of truth. The dance of the physical and the dance of the non-physical is what's going on this week. Keep dancing with it. Keep flowing with it. Keep playing with it. You can play with your reality. It doesn't have to be all serious. Like, yes, we have to do things. Sure. Yes, we do. We do. But we also can play around with that too. We can also play around with that. We can play with the idea of being in one energy of getting shit done and then switching it over and doing something just fun and silly and being with ourselves. We can even be a little bit of the trickster. Trickster energy is happening under the full moon Sag, because Sag kind of has that element to it, especially juxtaposition in Gemini. Sag Gemini. It's trickstery. It's tricks, like sacred clown versus trickster kind of going on in both those energies. But anyway, play with it, right? Even with the shit you got to do and get done, like how much you get stressed out by it or hate it or whatever, see what happens if you do it a different way. See what happens if you do it while you're doing something fun. See what happens if you want to be total trickster, sacred clown, and just blow it up and just decide to sabotage it and see what happens. I'm not really recommending that. I'm just saying there are different ways to interact with your reality, play with your reality, play with the aspects of your life, play with the things you have to do, you want to do. There's a lot of fun to be had, but that's literally what I'm getting here. Like, have fun with the dance of the physical, non-physical, thoughts, emotions, light, shadow. Dance with it. Interesting. Any other messages or insights? Oh, judgment. Wow. Okay. Things are really clear, is what I just heard. Things are really, really clear. Things are getting clear. You know, we had a lot of confusing energy that happened with Mercury retrograde and a full moon Scorp and all of that. And we've really done a lot of recovery since then, right? We've definitely come out of the land of the lost energy, but there's so much clarity coming in here with this judgment card. I keep feeling this trickster energy, almost like there's kind of a joke going on here. Like, the clarity that's coming in is showing you, like, almost like the ease of things. How easy things really are, how simple things really are, how simple life really is, how simple reality actually is, which you also find by playing with it. Some of you might actually find liberation in this clarity and will start to play with your reality more, because you can see how how easy and simple it is. I'm also getting just the whole paradox of reality too, like how meaningful but meaningless it is at the same time, how beautiful every little thing is but nothing actually exists. I know we're getting really deep here. I know we're going way beyond our individual lives with this reading, but that's literally what I'm getting here with the moon and the judgment card. Again, very sacred clown, very trickster, of turning things on its head and getting clarity from that, and almost there's a humor to it. Like, I almost want to giggle, to be honest. All of like the suffering and like the hard shit that we've been going through for like the last month and a half or so that felt like super, super karmic. This energy is coming out the other side with the clarity and looking back and being like, and almost being able to laugh at it. Being able to laugh at it and kind of being able to laugh at yourself, at how hard you were on yourself and like how much of a struggle things were, but they didn't have to be. Kind of what we were saying here, right? It's like, this is a beautiful experience and a beautiful journey we're all on, right? It doesn't have to be like so difficult all the time, especially when we have beautiful things that are right around the corner. The only reason why we don't experience beautiful things right around the corner when they're there is because of this shit. The things we're holding on to that don't allow for that to even exist or take up space in the first place. So anyway, I'm sorry, so many things coming in here, but the gist, the clarity that is coming in is really showing you a good reflection of where you've been, what you've been processing in the last month and a half, last couple of months, and it's the clarity you're getting is you're really able to laugh at it. You're able to laugh at yourself. You're able to laugh at the craziness of that part of the journey that you've just gone through, and you're able to move forward to embrace the play of it, the joy of it, the humor of the paradox of our reality in our lives. Wow, okay. Not what I was expecting, but let's keep going. Any other messages or insights? Oh my God. Look what landed on top of Judgment. Two of Cups. Like I said, some of you guys might be meeting somebody or meeting people or have recently met people, and there's going to be a deepening of these relationships and more fun and play happening in these relationships this week. If you partake, you don't have to partake in that. It's a choice. Some of you are also going to be getting clarity about previous relationships that were very karmic and also very pivotal to you becoming who you are presently. Okay. And yes, it might be about some of this baggage. Hold on. It might be about some of this baggage, some of this anger, some of this tension, discomfort, and again, getting clarity on it for yourself, and also why these things happen this way, what you learn from it, and again, you're able to kind of laugh and let it go. But definitely get prepared for some new karmic relationships coming in, or relationships that are very much divinely orchestrated, okay, like people being sent to you, kind of a vibe. Wow. Okay, moving on. Love, sex, and magic. Sex is just the alchemy of oneness. Sorry, I felt the need to stop and say this. Sex is just the alchemy of oneness. It creates a being from two. It creates a one from two. It's about oneness. I don't know why I feel the need to say that. I think some of you guys needed to hear that. That's why sexual energy is so powerful. And that's why sexual energy is about creation and why it is about life. Even if it has been distorted and perverted and all of that stuff, it's one of the most beautiful things we can ever experience in this reality. Wow. And there's the Queen of Wands. Yeah, some karmic shit is going to be resolved or coming in, okay, when it comes to relationships here. To be honest, it's also just that sexual energy too. Devil's not always a bad thing. Devil, I think, is also a good representation of the balance of forces, being able to harness such passion and intensity and be disciplined with it. Like, I also look at the devil in that way. It's a really good mastery energy, which is why it's associated with Capricorn, right? Saturn. Anyway, so yeah, just be mindful of any karmic stuff that's coming up. Just experience it, grow from it, get the clarity from it so you can actually like just enjoy things moving forward. But some of you guys might be moving into very sexually charged relationships or encounters. I'll say encounters. I'm also getting a little bit of obsessive energy. So be mindful there too. Pluto's at play, so obsession's going to be at play too. I honestly don't feel like the devil is a bad thing here. I really don't. I don't feel like it's a bad thing at all. I know, again, it's often looked at as bad. I don't feel like it's bad. I feel like it's coming through as a mastery of sexual energy. That's how I feel like it's coming through here. Especially with the moon and judgment. Like, out of 4 cards, 3 of them are majors, and the only other one that's not is a 2 of cups. Right, and that speaks of soul contracts and relationships. It also speaks of relationship with the self. Sometimes it's a general reading, so I'm going to say that applies here. So yeah, I would not look at this as a bad thing. Overall, we do have the Queen of Wands, which I knew that was going to come out. 7 of Cups. Oh my. The Knight of Wands. Careful here, because like I said, people coming in, and here they come. Here they come, the Knight of Wands and 7 of Cups. Some of you guys might be getting a lot of offers, a lot of dates, a lot of, I want to see you, I want to hang out with you. What are you doing tonight? What you doing tomorrow? What you doing next week? What you doing next month? So you guys might be getting a lot of offers here with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands and the 7 of Cups right in the middle. Excuse me, guys. Some of you who are going to be like meeting people, if you get a Knight of Wands person coming your way, be careful with the double card there at the 2 of Cups. I mean, that is somebody who is just like, they need you. Much as you're feeling yourself as a Queen of Wands, they really feeling you. So it just might be a lot. This was a little overwhelming. Even as a reader, I keep wanting to do this. Like, I keep wanting to kind of like back out of the energy. Yeah, I keep wanting to back out of the energy. Some of you guys is definitely going to be somebody returning, especially now that we are officially ending like Mercury post-shadow. Yeah, some of you guys, this is going to be a return, especially because Pluto's at play as well. You're going to have all the clarity you need. You're going to have all the clarity you need on your past karmic relationships. You're going to have all the clarity you need on your own sexual energy. Remember this last week, we also had Mars working with Chiron, and that was also happening under the full moon Sag. That's all healing around sexual wounding. All that. I'm bringing that up, and I do feel it here, almost like a closure of that, a reconciliation of that. And it's putting you in such a place where you can so feel yourself and be confident and be more about the oneness of you versus like the whole masculine feminine, while you're dancing with yourself and playing with those energies internally. It's going to attract a lot of people in because you're going to be hella attractive. Queen of Wands is incredibly attractive. And as people come in, it might trigger you. So let those things go. As you get triggered, like understand why you're getting triggered and why they're coming up. It's going to give you, again, a lot more clarity. Some of you guys are going to have people come in that you are really, truly meant to meet. Divinely orchestrated relationships, but some of them might just be really lusty. Underneath the Knight of Wands, we even have the 7 of Swords. Yeah, and the Tower. 7 of Swords and the Tower. These people coming in are going to catch you off guard. Some of you guys, I feel like, are even in a state of like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to be home alone by myself. Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's going to be some unexpected last minute plans, some unexpected DMs, some unexpected phone calls, like some unexpected shit I think is going to be going down, especially with the 7 of Swords in the Tower. I honestly feel like this is just saying the Tower is hidden from your sight. Like you just can't see it coming. And I just feel like the Tower is acting as a surprise. I really feel that way. It's just acting as a big surprise. So the people who are coming in, like I said, many options here. Some that are old, I think you're just going to want to do your own closure sort of deal, get the clarity, like I said, and move on. But the new people, I think, are going to be a mix of divinely orchestrated and catching you off guard, and people who might be a little obsessive and lusty. So use your discernment as much as you can. Use that tigress, my men and women alike, to practice that. And whatever you learn from these encounters, whatever enjoyment you get from these encounters, make sure you are balancing it with some a little alone time and to be meditating and communing with your higher self and your guides. It's going to help you keep you grounded. But also, the clarity is going to help you enjoy what's coming. So much easier. Like, I really feel like you guys are going to have moments where you look back on how hard things were the last couple months, and even how hard some of the karmic shit you've been through in your life has been, and I really feel like you're gonna laugh. I feel like you're gonna be able to have that just kind of like, oh my god, that's so silly, like, or oh my god, spirit is like so ridiculous, like, oh, this reality is so bizarre, like, whatever. I just feel like you're gonna have that very cathartic, joyful kind of release, even if you have sexual ones in the meantime. So I know I threw a lot at you guys. I hope this was clear, because there's a lot of ways this is manifesting. But let's pull advice. How am I going to pull advice for this? I know. We'll use shamanic tarot. We'll pull advice, and then we will close out. I've been talking like this for a while, where like I'm talking, and then I feel like all of a sudden my brain is just like off. And it's like, oh, wasn't I mid-sentence? I had the words for the next thing I was going to say. Like, I'm not going to lie, guys. This energy collectively makes me a little nervous. I think it makes me nervous because it's like, I know it's a collective energy, but I'm also part of the collective. And it makes me personally, makes me want to go like, oh no, that looks like a lot. It really feels like a wave. It feels like a wave of heat. It feels like a wave of pursuit. And it's like, it makes me want to shrink back. Like, run away from the wave. Anyway, moving on. Any advice? Any advice for the collective for this week? Especially those of you who've been doing your work. Like, if you've been doing your shadow work, your spiritual work, you've been having your own balance, you've been finding like good energy in your life, and you've had a lot of growth, like, get ready. Get ready. I almost want to say get ready for the Calvary. It's kind of what I want to say. Actually, whoa, I'm gonna stop there for a second. Some of you, I feel like there's going to be some of you where this is more work related. So if you have Taurus or Gemini in like one of your work houses, like 10th house, what's another work house, 7th house, 2nd house, you might actually experience that. Like, you suddenly have people running in to support you, and it's kind of like, whoa, what the hell is this? Really feeling that for work. Really feeling that for work. Any advice? Sorry, I'm stopping. Especially because it's the Knights of the Queen. The Knights serve the kings and queens. They serve them. Some of you guys are going to have a very final conversation. This is also something that I'm just channeling right now. A very final conversation with somebody, because it has to be done. Is what I'm hearing. It has to be done. Judgment. It has to be done. That's coming from higher ups. That's coming from beyond your guides, and you can feel that, and you know it. You know who you are. That's what I'm gonna say. You know who you are. Let it go, because you're not liking it anyway. For those of you who are in that boat, it's making you uncomfortable. It's messing up your energy. You don't like it anyway. It's time. It's time for the final conversation. It's time for the final goodbye. You know who you are. Any advice? Psychic development. Okay, I like it. That's becoming more discerning, getting more in touch with your intuition. That's something that, again, has been very grounding for us this last week. And we still have that presently because we are moving into Cancer season. We do still have Neptune and Pisces creating some aspects. Very, very good to be reliant on your intuition right now for grounding. Again, and discernment. Any other advice for the collective this week? Discernment, discernment, discernment. And also, when the cavalry comes in, when the wave comes in, maintain moderation. Maintain balance of yourself and your own life. Make sure you are getting your things done, not to the point where you're feeling really lonely and like blah, right? But make sure you're on top of things and make sure you are giving yourself solitude every day to meditate and connect and to ground, because it is going to help you to stay more on top with understanding what's happening, why certain people are just suddenly flocking to you, because it really is going to be a mixed batch of lusty, sexy people, okay, looking to indulge, people who are coming after you to prevent you from really, truly, finally closing out some karmic doors. Close them, have the final conversations, and also people who are divinely guided to go to you. So practice discernment with your psychic development. Underneath discernment, I will say sacred space, kind of exactly what I was just saying. Make sure you have your solitude. It's going to keep you grounded. Oh, okay, guys. I was going to label this love, sex, magic. I don't know if I'm still going to keep that as the label. I almost want to like label it, get ready for the wave of 8. But I kind of like love, sex, magic. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go. I love you guys. Take care. I hope this was really good for you. Don't forget to check out the website, Patreon, and Vimeo. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.